Hey YouTube, it's Adrian. Just before we get you to this video, do me a favor and head over to pageantlaunch.com. We are starting the world's first dedicated pageant review site, and I would love for you to join our launch team. All you need to do is put in your email address. It's completely free. We are looking to make a pageant industry that is safe, transparent, and fair. I know it's like that most of the time, but over the last year, it's become very evident that it's not like that all of the time. So head over to pageantlaunch.com, put in your email address, and let's get you to this video. Hey everyone, guys, what am I doing? First off, if you can hear us, if you're listening on the stream, can you hear us? Because I was just playing those videos and I couldn't hear any sound, which is unusual. And we had an echo before, which is also unusual. So can someone just let us know whether you can hear us or not? Oh, Danielle, you can hear it. Okay. You're on the call, Danielle. So someone watching on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, can you just let me know if you can hear us? All right, thank you, Tammy. Let's get to it. Guys, welcome to Pageants and PJ's 37. Sorry, there's a giant cockroach crawling up my... It's all happening today. Let's get going. Our special guests for today, Lauren's taking a break from her podcasting duty, so we have two special guests. One is Dr. CORINNE Devin, who I've interviewed and is over in America. Last time I spoke to you, where were you, CORINNE, last time I spoke to you? Were you still in Italy?
When we did the podcast, I was in Italy. So yes, I left Italy last Wednesday and I will be in Japan next month if we chat. I will be on your time zone, actually.
Do you ever stop traveling?
Well, this is for work. I'm actually, we call it a permanent change of station. So I left the base in Italy where I was working, and I'll be working with the United States Marine Corps in Iwakuni, Japan for the next 2 years.
That's amazing. And what has been going on recently? Why don't you bring us up to date? Because I know you've had some experience with a resident podcast host.
Yes. Yes. One of the things that I love about pageantry is the camaraderie. And I had the fortunate, I was very lucky that you connected me to Miss Danielle Latimer, Miss UK Galaxy, who I know will be Miss Galaxy and follow in my footsteps because I was a queen several years ago.
Don't curse me now.
Yeah, I'm just putting out my godmother wand wishes, and we actually got to tour the Cotswolds, a beautiful side of charming England that I have never seen, that I've always wanted to go, and I could not ask for a more perfect way to spend the last few days in Europe before I had to say arrivederci.
And just to clarify, how is Danielle's driving?
Much better than mine. Much better than
really?
I mean, she navigated the roads. Like, I drive like an Italian driver now. So I like stop signs are like a pause for me. Red lights. I'm now back in California. I'm back in the United States where I actually have to stop and not cut someone off, which I did this morning. And then I realized I'm like, oh, I should have let them pass, because that's how I drove for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to be driving on the side of the road like you do, and she does.
The right side of the road. I've heard about Italian drivers. They take stop signs as suggestions, and when they park, it's bump and go parking. It's like you keep backing up until you feel something, and then you go forward.
Yeah, I get a little nervous about that. I had a backup camera so that I wouldn't necessarily do that to other people's car. But yeah, driving, you never get a speeding ticket in Italy. You'll get parking tickets, but no speeding tickets, which is somewhat nice.
Sounds like a good reason for, I was going to say good reason for me to move there. I think it's a good reason for Danielle to move there.
Yeah.
And our other special guest from the same system nonetheless is Sarah Davies. Sarah, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, I'm good. Life is slowly returning to some sort of normal, so we're getting there.
What is normal for you, dare I ask? Like, how training-wise and everything, what's normal?
I mean, I say that, but my life didn't really change that much during lockdown. Like, I work for myself from home, and I go to the gym, and from May time, we had a return to elite training. So I've been back in the gym for a long time before everybody else, which upset the average person on Instagram. They're like, why are you back in the gym? And I was like, because I'm training for the Olympics. So
yeah, this is my job, guys. Because Boris said, if you can go back to work, go back to work. I am working.
Exactly. So yeah, training's kind of weird. So we were supposed to have the European Championships in November in Moscow, but they just got cancelled, which I'm probably quite glad of, because who really knows what's going on in Russia? But it means I have no idea what I'm training towards now. So I'm just kind of training with no purpose, which is kind of weird. Obviously, the longer term purpose of the Olympics, but it's not broken down into smaller chunks right now. So,
Sarah, when will the Olympics be? Because I was told they're going to be in Tokyo in 2021. Is that still the case? And if so, do you know when, so I could come watch you?
Yeah, so they've moved it basically just 12 months and a day back from when it should have been. So opening ceremony is the 25th, and I think I'm due to lift on like the 28th or 9th or something, like off the top of my head, but I'll have to come check. And yeah, because I'll get like tickets and stuff, and so yeah, you have to be there basically.
I will be I'll be that obnoxious mom that's in the stands holding signs and whistles and then trash talking any of your competitors. Yeah, so let me know where I can sign up for that, because in Japan at 5'3", I'm tall, and then of course I'm a flashlight, so I'm going to stand out for you in that country. That's
true. To be fair, if you're there on a military base, I reckon you could probably get some sort of like military ticket situation. So
yeah, I fingers crossed. I'll be much south. I'll be about like a 2-hour flight from you. But yeah, no, trust me. You let me know where I can sign up, and yeah, all that.
Okay,
you can count on one American cheering for another country for you.
Woo!
won't say too much about that. So Sarah, basically what you're saying is that if the whole pandemic had happened, come and gone, and you hadn't had social media, you might not actually have noticed.
I mean, I normally travel a lot, so the lack of traveling,
right, okay.
But other than that, yeah, not much would have changed. Not gonna lie. And from a business perspective, like I've done all right business-wise, because people have been training from home, they've all bought equipment, and so actually, as guilty as I feel about it, I've actually done all right out of the whole situation. So yeah, unfortunately, not everyone's in the same situation, but
no, nothing to feel guilty about. It's not like you caused corona, unless there's some information that I don't know. And yeah,
I had been to China in December and Rome in January, so I mean,
gosh,
yeah, pretty sure I had it in January.
Did you eat a bat?
I didn't eat the bat. No, that wasn't me.
Okay, so it's not.
Not knowingly.
Bat soup as extra protein or something for your lifting. Elizabeth Coulthard here said, "Evening, everyone." Elizabeth, where are you from? Remind me. I seem to think that you're from Canada, but I think I'm getting that mixed up with another Elizabeth. Now, just before I head over to Danielle and ask her what's been going on, Danielle, could you recount for us what happened on our podcast last time we had Sarah on?
I'm never going to let this down, am I? Like no one's ever going to let this go.
Corinne doesn't know what happened though, so tell Corinne the story.
I put my head down to have like a quick nap before the podcast, because life gets tiring sometimes, and I thought I'll sneak in a quick nap before we go live, and I must have slept through my alarm.
Didn't you have like sunstroke or something? Like you'd been in the sun all day?
Oh yes. I did. So I must have felt a bit like horrible. So that's why I was thinking, I need to get my head down so I can like recover and be on top form, because going live to the entire world. And then I didn't come round. I'd lost consciousness completely, and I felt like absolute trash.
We had genuine concern for your welfare.
Everyone was. I like woke up and I had like 10 text messages and inboxes, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, guys.
We all thought you jumped off a cliff or something. I mean, God knows Corona's doing a runner on most of our mental health. So,
I mean, and I've had low days, but not that low. But yeah,
good.
So that was not a highlight of Corona, really.
No.
Yeah, sorry, I missed that. I felt dreadful afterwards. I think I even caught a bit of the live as well. I was like, "Hi guys, I am alive."
Yeah. I think it was Joanna Johnson who clarified for us the fact that you were okay. Yeah. And then, we had a good laugh at your expense, which is always the way that these things go. But it's up to Sarah whether to take it personally or not. I mean, I'm always here, so I can't take it
We're making up for lost time now.
Yeah.
All right, Danielle, why don't you catch us up, Danielle, with what's been going on since last week?
Okay, so as we've all been having a pretty rubbish time with Corona, I put a status up recently about my experience with it, which it was not so great, and I had so many amazing messages and comments on that, because I wanted to be open with people, because I felt last week I kind of was a bit I wasn't myself. I tried to like pull myself together on the podcast, but yeah, so I was just really raw about my situation, obviously losing my job. I've now had to sign on for universal credit, something that I always promised myself that I would never do just because of pride. But then I actually come to terms with the fact that there's a lot of people in the same boat as me, and just kind of be open and raw about it. And yeah, I've had some really good feedback. I want to change my life. I want to turn like my life around. I don't want to be sad about it anymore. So a few people have recommended me The Magic, which is a fantastic book that is meant to change your life. And I've spoken to many people that have done it. It consists of 28 days of practice. So every single day there is a different practice you need to complete. And every single morning you have to kind of start doing it to get your day going. For example, my first day was to wake up and write down 10 things that you are most thankful for and grateful for in your life. And then say the words, thank you, thank you, thank you, after each of those 10 things that you're grateful for. So that was the first practice. I have to do that every single morning. I also have a little rock, which is actually under the bed. And every single night I have to hold the rock in my hand, and I have to tell my rock my favorite part of today. So it's about bringing gratitude into your life, and it's changed so many people's lives. So I'm excited to be on this journey. The only thing is, if I accidentally miss a day, or I don't do something, or, you know, something happens, life happens, and I skip a day, you either go back to the beginning if you're in the early stages of it, or you go back 3 days. So It's about consistency. It's about making it a habit in your life. And they say it's about 28 days until you make something a habit. So yeah, it's really exciting. I've been documenting my journey on TikTok. So for those that are interested in following my journey, I am posting every single day on TikTok, every evening, and I'm posting the practice that I had to do that morning, and other activities, things that just mundane things that will be happening in my life in the run up, because obviously I'm not working at the moment, so I'm trying to fill my days with fun things that I can do, fun inexpensive things to do. So if you are interested in, if you're in a bit of a crappy place, I definitely recommend doing The Magic. And that's what I've been up to.
Corinne, are you on TikTok?
I am not. I haven't took the plunge to it. I've enjoyed watching the videos, but I feel like I'm just trying to master one form of social media at a time. And they're all so different and unique. Like, I still feel like I'm learning so much from Instagram. And Danny was fantastic, because I learned, like, I need to take a photography class when I get to Japan, even though I'm not trying to be a photographer, but just understanding angles and lighting. I have so many pictures that I need to go through and post, because it's so helpful to have someone who understands how to look at things. And so for TikTok, I get it while she's a natural to it, because she's played with so many mediums that feed into TikTok, and having that visual eye and that attention to detail, it's probably why she's done so well. And I've been so shy to do it. I guess if it was people's mouths, I'd do it, but I'm really limited on what I'm able to do in the military with my patients. So.
Of course. Yeah. Danielle, you must like having Corinne on, because we've never had a guest on that speaks so highly of you. Normally everyone's taking the piss.
Like she can replace Lauren.
What? Okay. Be prepared when I come to Australia, mister. I will educate you on the fine skills and etiquette of Miss Queen Danielle Latimer.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh that loudly. I have spent time with Danielle. It has been interesting. Let us put it that way. Yes. Protest much?
By the way, guys, that is not a cider that I'm drinking. I'm drinking my Beaner before anyone starts being like, is she drinking on?
I'm getting adjusted to jet lag over here. That's why I'm drinking Diet Coke. I haven't got used to the time zone change yet. So
I'm drinking tea and being very English about
it. Oh, she's the best one. I should be drinking tea. Yeah.
Sarah, you made a brief appearance on TikTok, right? I think you still got one video there.
Yeah, but I just,
No.
I don't know. It's
Sarah,
just,
you do great on TikTok.
I know, but I just feel I'm not funny enough for TikTok. That's part of my issue. I'm not funny enough. I don't have rhythm, and TikTok revolves off humor or dancing, and the two of them don't.
No, you
If
should
you
post.
don't have rhythm and then you do a dance, you are by definition funny, though.
That is true.
Yes, very much so. Very
Maybe
much
I should
so.
take it to a dancing weightlifter and see where it gets me.
I agree. I agree.
You should post your training videos on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people have done, but I'm like, are people there for that, or are they just there? Do you know what I mean? Like Instagram people are there to kind of follow that like documentation of like my training and what they're up to. I'm like, is that there on TikTok? Is that TikTok's thing? Like, I'm just, yeah.
Never know until you try.
For the guys watching at home, I just want to ask you guys how you're going. Firstly, that's a very Australian phrase, as I learned. How you going? So, how are you at home?
How are you going?
Because I just, yeah. I
It's a bit
spend
like
so much
saying,
time.
Where are
it's
you
like saying
going?
you're right.
Don't stop this.
Aussies don't know
How
what
are
to do when
you
you're
at
right.
home?
How are you?
Okay. Yes, I am Australian. Deal with it. How are you going at home? Okay. Or how are you for those of you who aren't Australian, and also whether you guys are actually on TikTok? Because when we first went into isolation, TikTok blew up, and then with the whole debacle about is TikTok a spy platform for the Chinese government, I think a lot of people jumped off it. I know this because I did a poll recently on Instagram, and a lot of people now are back on Instagram and have left TikTok behind. So are you guys at home still TikToking, or are you back on Instagram? And Danielle, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think before our podcast next week, you've got a certain climb to do, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. So on Thursday, I will be flying up to Glasgow. On Friday, I will then be getting a train to Fort William. And from there, I shall be climbing Ben Nevis. Straight after that, I shall be climbing Scafell Pike. And then straight after that, I shall be climbing Mount Snowdon. So that's 3 mountains in 24 hours. Pray for me.
I wish I could do it with you. That's incredible. Sarah, have you done this hike?
No. That sounds like hard work. I lift heavy stuff up and put it down. Like, that sounds like cardio. That's not my thing.
I was going to say, don't suggest cardio to the weightlifter.
Yeah, but I think it's incredible what you're doing. I mean, you're conquering 3 very large mountains. I've done Mount Fuji, Machu Picchu, and Mount Etna. I have a horrible knee injury that I am nursing because of it. And I'm like Sarah, where I get so much joy out of working out that I have to be strategic. I'm actually now have to learn into biking and swimming and get less from running. But when you conquer something like that, it's not just the physical aspect of it, but mentally. I mean, that is telling you how much you grow as a person. And I really admire what you're doing. I wanted to tell you a lot of things I read about is like the growth mindset. And they say that if you are focusing on a goal and you make progress towards that goal, you'll get that same hit of dopamine, that same sense of accomplishment as you make progress. So think about it. You're doing 3 mountains. So every climb you do, you're gonna get that sense of adrenaline, that sense of high, that serotonin hit where you're just like, sorry, science girl over here speaking. But basically,
I'm impressed. Someone's been researching.
Yeah, but I love. There's a doctor out of Stanford, Dr. Andrew Huberman, that I've been loving because he talks about certain things, and he studies a lot of people in the military, and we face uncertainty and fear and anxiety all the time, but those are the times you actually grow. If you did the same thing all the time in your comfort zone, you're not going to grow as a person. I mean, I'm going on my 7th move in 13 years, and I'm moving in the middle of a pandemic from one part of the world to next, and I won't get my stuff. I'm living out of a suitcase until January. So I tell people, I'm like, you know what? It makes me realize how little I need and how much stuff I have. So no, that's awesome. My hat off to you. I'm going to be cheering for you and praying for you. And then I know that you're going to get the best sleep of your life after that.
Oh my gosh. Yes. So Yeah, I'm just looking forward to the sleep afterwards because I'm going to be exhausted. We start 8 a.m. on Saturday and we finish 8 a.m. on Sunday. No sleep. I'm going to try and get a nap in on, because we have a van that drives us from each mountain. There's a van, we're going to be in the van from 1 p.m. For 6 hours. So I'm going to try and get one of those face masks. I remember, Corinne, you had a face mask. I need to get one of those, an eye mask, just so then I can just get my head down and get some sleep in the van then.
You'll be so tired. I think you'll flake anyway by that point.
Yeah. I think the hardest part is going to be doing Snowdon because we have to do that in the dark. And I really hope that there's no rain because obviously climbing a mountain in the dark with it being slippy, and Wales is not the driest of countries, unfortunately. So let's hope that it's a nice dry night that night. But I do have lots of waterproofs in case it does rain. I'm prepared for every weather. I've got my head torch, poles, all that good stuff. We're ready. And I'm not doing it alone. There is a group of us doing it.
I'll just bring you up to date with the comments. Tammy here said that she's Aussie and no TikTok here. Hello, Tammy. Thank you for tuning in at 6 a.m.
Oh, wow.
We don't have many Aussie viewers on the podcast because it's 6 a.m, as I know.
Yeah.
Elizabeth has said, tired as revising for my anatomy and physiology exam. Well, good luck with that.
Good luck.
And she's also said, TikTok, no, I can't. I've never liked anything I've tried. You mean the stuff when you've done it, Elizabeth? Because if honest, like, you can spend 5 hours in bed just looking at TikToks and laughing your head off. So
yeah,
I watch a lot more TikToks than I've created. Yeah, you spy on everyone, you know, all the funny cat videos. Lanta said hello from Texas. Wow.
Oh, that's
okay, we've got
howdy.
That's right. That's right. So Danielle, as someone who's not had any experience with those mountains, can you give us an idea, just like how much of a trek, how steep is it?
Oh, I would have to I'm going to have to Google because I don't know off the top of my head. I should really know. So Ben,
I can Google it here because then I can share my, let's share a screen. So Ben Nevis, actually know how to spell
elevation is 1,345 meters. So that is the first one, Ben Nevis.
Okay. Well, that is that it?
Yep.
Okay. Those are buildings in the foreground. That's like a 3-story building there.
So that is my first mountain, and that is the largest mountain in the UK. So I'm going in with the big one first.
Right. And then what are the other ones?
Scafell Pike.
I have no idea how do you spell that.
Scafell, one word. So
as it sounds.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Yep.
Thank you, Google.
Scafell Pike.
Jeez, Danielle.
Yep.
Stretcher
Scafell
box.
Pike, I believe, is the smallest.
Right.
At 978 meters above sea level.
Okay. And what's the third one?
And it's Snowdon, Mount Snowdon. So yes. Snowdon. And Snowdon is 1,085 meters. Wow. So
they look beautiful.
Absolutely stunning. Let's hope we've got a nice clear day like those pictures.
We'll pray for that for you.
Lots of sheep.
What? I was going to say, what's that? That's because that person's really far away. That looks like a giant monster sheep.
That's
the optical illusion there. Where's it?
I mean,
I can't.
I know Wales is famous for their sheep, but they're not monstrous sheep. Yeah, you can actually get a train up, but you know, we're just going to go by foot in the dark.
If you have looks like if you have good weather, looks like you're going to have an amazing view from all three mountains.
But this one's going to be dark, so we're going to be doing this.
Sunrise, though.
Yeah, we should do. We should be catching the sunrise on the way down.
Wow,
that is incredible.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, so, it's definitely not a small hill. It's a proper mountain.
They're both three rather large mountains. So, yeah. I think the challenge for me will be I do have a slight knee injury, And the sleep is the number one. From people that I know that have completed it, they said the tiredness is probably the hardest thing. So I'll be having lots of sugary snacks in my backpack and lots of things to keep me going.
Caffeine.
Lots of caffeine. Yeah.
One thing I may suggest, and I don't know if you are sensitive. So when I did Mount Fuji in Japan, which was about, and I apologize, I don't know the meters, but it was about 13,000 feet high, as I got altitude sickness. And there is a medication. It starts with an A. It's a very long name. I would tell you if I heard it, but basically you take it before you do the hike the day before. And so that way you don't feel nauseous and sick at the top, because when you feel that way, you're not going to eat. I did it for Machu Picchu, which was great because we started in Cusco, which you're already about 8,000 feet high. And it really helped just take the edge off of it. So I'll caution you with any medication. First rule of pharmacology, there's no such thing as a biologically safe drug. But what it does is, I would say start with a half dose. And instead of feeling nauseous, your fingers and your toes might tingle a little bit. But then you are able to eat something to help keep up your energy. As Sarah pointed out, caffeine as well, to just do the hike and have that energy, because sustained energy, I mean, this is like doing a marathon. I mean, literally you're doing a marathon up a mountain. So 3 mountains.
Just Danielle, point of interest, I shouldn't expect you on the podcast in next week because you'll still be asleep.
I mean,
like you were for Sarah.
Because we're going to be driving down to Cardiff from North Wales. So we're going to drive from North Wales to South Wales. I'm going to try and get some sleep in the car, and I'll probably sleep in the day when I get home. If I'm awake, I'll let you know. We might have to play that one by ear, but I aim to be
That's
on there.
fair enough.
Hopefully by 9 p.m. I'll probably be wide awake. I probably would have slept all day, and I'll probably be awake at 9.
I'm just joking. So. I'm not trying to guilt you into it at all. Elizabeth here has said, what I've tried, I do love watching them. Yeah, everyone loves watching TikToks. Now, our dear Miss BB has said Scarfell is in Cumbria.
Yes. And I've given Claire my itinerary because she lives right near Scarfell. And she may potentially be meeting me before my ascent.
Right.
So
I'm assuming she lives at the bottom, not at the top.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I believe I get there at 7:30 p.m. and if she's free, then it'd be great to see her before I go up, because we'll need a toilet break and that stuff. So I'm having to think about stuff like that, because if we're climbing and then in the van and it's 24 hours, I'm definitely going to need to relieve myself at some point. And it's just... Pardon?
You need a shiwi so you can wee stand it up.
Oh no.
I do actually have a shiwi. I'll bring the shiwi with me just in case.
Or just squat. Depends on your dignity level.
Yeah. So yeah. I really hope that there's bathroom breaks. And I'm like, I don't want to guzzle my water because I've got a camelback, and I don't want to be sipping my water the whole way through. And when you're halfway up a mountain, I'm like, I need to go to the bathroom. Where do I go?
Make sure you hydrate well enough the day before too, so you're not starting off dehydrated. So you start off fully hydrated, because you will dehydrate when you're doing something like that. So make sure that you
will be carb loading as well. So yeah, I shall report back how my legs feel next week.
Sure, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Claire here. So for those of you who don't know, Claire was Danielle's first runner-up at UK Galaxy. I've interviewed her. Just out of interest, Sarah being the weightlifter, how do you feel about cardio?
How do I feel about cardio?
Yes.
Oh, I mean, I do it very occasionally. I sat on the airbag for 5 minutes the other day. No, I lied, 20 minutes. I do cardio, and also the kind of training that I do, you get a cardio benefit because you're working at such a high intensity that then it does actually transfer across, because you're working at such high percentages. So I used to train in a CrossFit gym, and if I joined in on a CrossFit workout, they'd all get really upset that I did so well when I don't train for CrossFit or cardio training. But obviously where I do train quite hard, my body is quite good at fitness. And my coach had me doing timed rest and timed sets the other week, which was pretty savage.
Yeah.
She was like, I just want to test your fitness. So I was doing like, you know, kind of only like 60% on the weights, but with like a 60-second rest in between my sets. So I had a bit of a sweat on the other day. It was really hot as well, so it was disgusting. But I made it out the other side. So I do keep on top of my fitness. I don't just like, you know, just lift heavy stuff.
I'm sure you do, but I mean, just thinking about it, because I've done some CrossFit, you must be an absolute demon at CrossFit, because a lot of it is the gymnastic skills, which you being an ex-gymnast, you obviously have, and a balance. So I can definitely see why they would hate you. I would assume like kipping, pull-ups, and muscle-ups are no problem for you, right?
Correct.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I was never able to do the muscle
Help
up.
a sister
Kipping
out.
pull-ups, I got. Kipping pull-ups and pull-ups, yes. Muscle-ups, could never get over the bar.
Yeah, bar muscle ups are harder, to be fair, because you kind of just chop into the bar, whereas rings you can fit through them a bit better. But yeah, so I do all right at the CrossFit stuff. Some people say to me, like, when you stop weightlifting, will you do CrossFit? And I'm like, that's kind of going from an Olympic sport to adult PE, but like, I might
And all the CrossFit is gone.
Wow. I'm sure your CrossFit fans are gonna love you for that.
I say it to them, but like it's one of
CrossFit
those
people are known for being so understanding.
like it's good fitness stuff, and it is something that like I would do, but like all of those elements I've kind of always done in my training anyway. I've just never put them together into a circuit, which is basically what it is. Like it's putting a load of movements together into a circuit for a time or whatever it is. So doing it to keep fit once I retire from weightlifting, yes. Whether I'd compete or not, I don't know. I guess that depends on if it's still the craze that it is now, and if the money is still there, then maybe I could be tempted, because there's some big money in that game.
You know what you do well, Sarah, and this is the thing, being in the military, I work with a lot of guys that do CrossFit, and I started participating in a little bit of CrossFit in 2009 when I was deployed with the Marines. But some of the things that I saw a lot of, I am a dentist, but I work with medical, and my friends that were physicians would see a lot of neck and upper back injuries. And part of it was because when we worked out with the Marines, they would have the Sufferfest, and it meant that you carry 20% of your body weight, but we were running in combat boots, which are heavy. They're not meant to do. And it was almost like a rite of passage. And I remember having horrible shin splints. I only did it a couple of times. I'm like, hey, guys, your doctor can't be broken if you want me to take care of you. So I stopped doing it, but that was one thing. So I think what the benefit with you is that you do this as a job. I mean, you are a professional athlete, so you understand the value of having proper form and technique. And I think that's where sometimes with people with CrossFit, their obsession to live the most heaviest weight, which hey, listen, if this gets you going to the gym, hey, by all means, I am so supportive of that. But if you don't do things correctly and you get injured, nothing is more frustrating. I think that if you know you can do something and you can't because you injured yourself. So I think, there's something, well, if you come, I'll cheer you on as a CrossFit, but just let me know if I have to be a bodyguard as well as a cheerleader for the Olympics.
No, I just knocked you guys. As much as I have guessed about CrossFit, it's done incredible things for weightlifting and the sport, and I wouldn't be able to make the money that I'm making now, both coaching and in sponsorships, if it wasn't for CrossFit. So as much as I do give it out in jest, my CrossFit fam that I speak to do know that I like them really.
I did do some CrossFit, and I loved it. There's just some extremists who, God, everything is CrossFit, but there's extremists in every walk of life. So exactly. What I loved about CrossFit, I think I told Sarah this during our interview, was actually I didn't know how technical weightlifting was, because you just look at it and go, oh, the person's just lifting a really heavy weight. But like doing things like deadlift and snatch, it's so technical, and you need such good body awareness, which is why I'm assuming that Sarah, one of your strengths, because you're a gymnast, you've got body awareness, would definitely play into it. But CrossFit does cop a bit of flack from people who just push, as Corinne was saying, without proper technique. And that can be a recipe for disaster when you're lifting your body weight above your head. I've seen that in person. It was not pretty. But anything that gets you moving, particularly in this day and age, is a welcome thing. Corinne, what is fitness like on an army base or a Navy base?
I'm in the Navy, not the Army. Be careful. We have a rivalry every year. We play football
That's
against
why
them.
that's why I
Yes,
corrected myself. I
that's
just
okay,
imagine
no
everyone is super fit, right?
You know, I would have to say it just depends on where I'm stationed. So I have been with the Army. I was with the Army in Al-Assad, Iraq. So that base was training Marine Corps to Army. And I would tell you that every branch of service is a little different. I will definitely tell you the fittest of all the services is the Marine Corps. And the Marine Corps is actually a department of the Navy. They actually fall under the Navy, but because they put more time and value into fitness. So we are allotted 2.5 hours per week to work out. But I will tell you the reality in military medicine, most people work out either in the morning, during their lunch hour, or after work. I get up early in the morning to work out. To me, being physically fit is not just a part of my job. It mentally makes me feel better. Kind of going back to Danielle's, the magic. To me, I start every day with 3 things I'm grateful for, and I start with a workout. And with COVID, it was very tricky. So I destroyed my yoga mat completely. I did classes that I were on Zoom with friends in Texas for my evening workout. I call it my happy hour. And then I would start one in the morning. But yes, we do a lot of running. We do a lot of push-ups and sit-ups, and running, because I injured my knee, I'm actually going into spinning. I'm still doing some running, but right now I sound like a musical chair going upstairs with my knee, which is so frustrating as someone who used to do like a 6.5 minute mile. So for me, it's just, I would say the older you get, that diet plays a bigger role. And that's what I definitely tell people, is learning to put good quality food with some exercise, you will actually get a better benefit. I treat a bunch of SEALs and special combat forces where I'd see these guys go to like champagne brunches and just tear it apart, but you would never know that they probably have a 6-pack buried some underneath there because of all the food that they put in their mouth. But yes, very, very physical. For me, I work out 4 or 5 days a week with the military, usually on my own, and then with my guys occasionally.
I was going to say, you mentioned that your evening workout is your happy hour. You and I have a very different definition of
what happy hour is.
Yeah, I'm not doing it as much anymore. The gyms did open up back in Italy. It is challenging because we have to wear a mask when we're in the gym, but they do allow us to take it off when we go to like the treadmill or when we get to the weight station. But in Japan, I'm told I will have to wear a mask 24/7. So I'm going to be looking at outlets of, I'm getting like a Peloton bike and other things to do, because to me, being physically fit it's not just also part of my job, but it also makes me feel better. And, if I was back in the UK and Danny needed a partner in crime to do that, I would do it with her in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
Or if Sarah needed someone to spot her in the Olympics, and I could come out there and like, even though my weights are going to be the size of probably my Coca-Cola can, I would be like happy. I'd want to be able to say yes and do it. So to me, being physical fitness and having that it's just part of my well-being. So I could say yes to all these cool, amazing opportunities, and share my pageant sisters at the same time.
Absolutely. I would love to spot Sarah, but I don't think I could lift the weight, so I'd be like, no,
Like,
no, you used to be like, you got that right.
Shooters.
Yeah.
These need some work.
That is the one thing I miss working out at home, is a heavy weight. I mean, I've got kettlebells just behind me. I've got a 20 kilo and I bought a 24 kilo the other day to do some kettlebell stuff. But just like going to the bar with really heavy weight on, I don't know. I never thought I'd love it, but for some reason I do. I can't explain why. Growing up, I always thought people who lifted weights were stupid. We called them meatheads. So the world has changed a lot, and probably in no small part, as Sarah said, due to CrossFit, because it's become in vogue now. It's the sexy thing to do, and I love that a lot of women are doing it as well, because it used to be, I don't want to do that because I'm going to get huge muscles.
I've never done CrossFit. I would be very interested in doing it, but for me, I find it quite intimidating because I feel there's a lot of testosterone flying around in those kind of atmospheres.
You know what? Like CrossFit gyms are actually the opposite. Like the right box. Like, don't get me wrong, you get the anomalies as well, but they're really kind of community based, and there are people in there that are just going to keep fit, because that's a good thing about like the classes. That it's an hour, you go in and you've not got to think. Like, they take you through it, and if it's a good box, they're not going to make you do movements that are too complicated, like too soon on, like, and they'll scale it down for you so you can still get a good workout, but like learn the skills and stuff as it goes. And you get people from all walks of life like all flexible, like all kind of fitness levels, like all that kind of stuff. The stuff you see it's generally the coaches and the people that train in like the open gym time, and they're doing their own thing to compete at like that higher level. But when it comes to just the general classes that like people go to before and after work, like I'd say it is one of the most inclusive kind of fitness.
That's nice to hear, because all of the imagery that I've seen from CrossFit tends to be the kind of, you know, the athletes, the really kind of intense side of it. So it's nice to know that, you know, that's normal folk.
And
can
a lot of
go
the gyms,
do CrossFit.
a lot of them do like free trials, or like, you know, so many classes that you can go to in the week or whatever, just to see if you like it before you invest in the membership, because it is an expensive membership, but you're also paying for that coaching time. So that's what you've kind of got to remember, is you're getting like personal training thrown into that. So
I used to work for Equinox, so don't get me started on expensive membership. I used to work for the most expensive gym in the nation. So I do feel like if you're going to put money into something, you're best putting it into your health and your fitness. It's the best investment you can have. It's an investment in you. So, you know, this is all the sales pitch coming out from the Equinox days, but I definitely do believe like you shouldn't ever, like, I know when people used to look at gyms like Virgin or, you know, the gym and stuff, people were like, oh, that's really expensive. It's like, well, no, because it's, if you're going to use it regularly and you're going to gain so much out of it, you know, you can't put a price on your health, really. So
well, yeah, I'm going to tell Sarah, I think at the next pageant you do, this is just me, I would love for you to do a CrossFit class or a CrossFit morning class that any of the girls could come to. Because I agree with Danielle. I think a lot of women are intimidated by CrossFit. And if they have someone who at your pageant who is a pageant woman and has that knowledge and know what it's like to teach people, I think it would be very eye-opening and also make people feel very empowered to go to something and not feel judged, and also feel like, wow, well, she, you know what I mean? We've walked in such similar shoes that she could teach me something, and maybe you'll spark an interest in some girls who weren't able to do it before that now are kind of inspired by you to do it.
Yeah, it's true. It's a good chat, actually. It's definitely something to look into. I mean, I made a joke at Holly, who obviously directs all the pageant girl stuff, and said that I'm going to take over the fitness rounds of her things, and the girls were like, please no.
Please do, because if I see one more pageant, now don't get me wrong, I've done yoga, I love yoga, I've done a lot of body work stuff, but if I see one more pageant fitness round being how long can you hold a plank for, or yoga on the beach, I'm going to scream.
When you've got 20 kilos of like glute to hold up as well while you're doing a plank up, that becomes a lot more difficult. Like,
yeah, but as we discussed,
I'm doing a plank with like an extra lump on top. So
people don't think I'm being creepy. Everyone in pageant land wants Sarah's butt. Okay.
I don't know. I think my butt might actually compete with hers. I think I have a black girl's butt.
I've seen both butts, and they're both great firm butts. So I'm not going to pick a favorite, but they are two great tushes right there.
I got it from my mom. Mine weren't from body weight like hers, so I got mine genetically from my mother. She still has a great bucket at 70, so we know where Sarah actually worked.
I do a lot. Well, you work out, so we've got genetics. I have a big butt because of all the tennis I've done. I've always been stronger in the legs. Danielle, you've got hips as well, right?
I got a big butt because I like to eat.
So this is everyone on this podcast has a big butt. This is like the big butt podcast.
This is going to be the big butt podcast.
I know.
Need a rebrand.
Yeah.
That'll go down well. No, I would love to see the pageant fitness round be a little different, because I think there's a good chance that learning to lift some weights, I know some girls will hate it, whatever, but I think some girls will really, really enjoy the challenge of it, because I know that I did. And it's you'll definitely be learning something, because holding the plank, to me, I mean, I was able to hold the plank for more than 5 minutes, but it's just so boring, and you don't learn anything whilst you're there.
When me and Danny did Miss England, it was a bleep test.
Yeah,
and I came second to a girl who ran marathons, so I took that because as a weightlifter, like that was a good feat. So I was dying afterwards.
Torture. That beep test.
We did the bleep test, and also we did the last man standing with the plank. Did we do the last man standing with the plank? Yeah. I came 8th in that, I believe. I was like, yes.
So maybe a good challenge, because it's hard because not everyone has weights, and certain places, certain states or countries, the gyms are closed, and it is really hard to buy weights. I know I couldn't buy anything on Amazon.
I tried.
Yeah.
So I think one way that you could challenge muscle and endurance is if you have a push-up contest. And that was actually the fitness portion in a military pageant, was they wanted to see who does the most amount of proper push-ups. So not push-ups on your knees, which I honestly, if that's the way you start doing push-ups and you have to learn it, that's fine. But you can do so many variations. So to me, that might be a nice in between. And also it's not, I agree, holding a plank for 3 or 4 minutes is very boring, but doing push-ups, you can do triangle, one leg, wide arms, tricep. That might be something, I don't know, maybe that'll be something that we could put out for all our competitors.
Corinne, you should get on TikTok, because I don't know, you probably haven't seen this, but there are push-up videos that are challenge videos. They only go for like a minute, because that's as long as you can have it. But literally, they're all those different push-ups you mentioned, and they do them all within a minute. And it's like body weight is no joke. They are crazy strong. They go to the one arm push-ups, the triangle push-ups, wide push-ups, all those push-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the clap ones. Landing on your face is very, very liberating. Just remind yourself how stupid you are. Sarah,
oh my gosh.
can you, Sarah?
No,
Can you?
that would be a face plan. I can do a regular like clap one, like I can do a few of those in a row, but behind my head, nah, I'd be on my face.
Oh, those ones where you jump out as well.
I'd be ringing Corinne to get my teeth fixed out.
Oh my gosh. Please just wear a mouth guard. Just promise me you wear a mouth guard when you do your weights. That's all I want to see.
Mouth guard for push-ups.
Just mouth guard. No, for her. Yeah, please.
One person clapped their hands behind their bum. That's not easy. Push up, and as you're up in the air, you've got to clap behind you.
Too much bum to get over.
Yeah,
It's like...
we've got too much to get around.
Too much height.
I would think in our group of 4 that actually would be like even more of a challenge, because of the distance of the bum from our backs is much more further than the average person.
Okay, just hang on. All right, just for a sec. Can you guys tell me whether you have the same struggles as me finding a pair of jeans or trousers that fit? Because I tell my best friend the story last week, and he thought it was hilarious. We were playing tennis, and he collapsed on the court, not because he was tired, but because he was laughing so hard. I went into a jeans store because my girlfriend at the time wanted me to buy a new pair of jeans. And I go in there, and they're tight jeans, right? They're kind of form-fitting. I got stuck halfway through with it up my quad, and I got my other leg stuck in the leg, and I'd lost my balance, and I was falling all over the place, and I couldn't get them off. And then the girl,
then you get stressed, the checkout girl, and like,
the checkout girl's like, "How are they fitting? Are they all right? Are you okay?" And then it's like, no, I'm not. And I tried every pair of jeans in that bloody store, and not a single one of them were anywhere near fit. If they fit my butt, they're like 4 inches too big around the waist. So do you guys have that same problem, or is that just me?
Yeah,
I feel like as a woman, it's a bit better because you get like the more like stretchy jeans and stuff. But I did actually just see one of the US weightlifters has partnered up with a company that is basically made for people who like work out and have like bum and quads and like little waists and stuff. So I might hit them up to try and get myself a pair to try out.
That's amazing. I would buy stock of that company, because a number of jeans that I've ripped, not because I'm fat, but because, I've anyway.
You know what I do? This is embarrassing. I'm literally gonna like do myself dirty on this, but I've got a pair of jeans here. This, I don't know if this happens to anyone else, but when you try and pull your jeans up, this happened.
So, I do that too.
I think it's time for us to go shopping.
I need to go shopping and get some more jeans.
I did that exact same thing the other day. So
gosh.
Once you do that and you hear and you're like, oh no.
And your hand kind of comes with it too. Like on one side, you're like,
I'm so glad that we found something deep and meaningful to bond over, how big our glutes are.
Yeah.
Now, I got to keep us on track because Corinne has to go in a few minutes. So why don't we wrap this up with what we've got coming up? Obviously, Danielle has got her giant climb coming up. Corinne, what have you got coming up in the near future?
Let's see, moving to Japan. That's a big thing. But something I did this past weekend, was I actually filmed a documentary on the USS Midway in San Diego. And what it is
Oh, wow.
I'm working with Patrick Stevens. He's part of IHG Productions. He's done many pageants, videography in the US. And just a shameless plug, I've worked with him. He's amazing. I also know my director has worked with him. The Earth System has worked with him, and he is working with a all military veteran company in Southern California that are looking for women who serve in the military and are also in pageants, because he wants to show the many sides of females who serve, not just in the military, but serve in the community. And he thinks pageant women are such a great, versatile, type of women that are not really highlighted. And so that was something cool that I can't wait to see when it actually comes to full fruition. So any of the women who are out there that are interested in it, I just wanted to put it out there because there's not very many of us. And again, I'm starting to grow my reach and my network in the UK, which I truly hope I can continue. And now I'm going to Asia, where pageantry is not as nearly revered. But that was something cool that I worked on that I'm excited to see come alive.
You said the USS Midway, is that a Nimitz class carrier?
That is a retired a naval ship carrier. It's actually become a museum in San Diego.
Right.
And if you guys ever have a chance to come to San Diego, California, I highly recommend going on it. All the volunteers are former military veterans who just love telling you the history, their war stories. And so, of course, to be on board in my naval uniform and during COVID, trying to wear a mask and not mess up your makeup and then switch. And then I'm wearing high heels on the tarmac, which is where the airplanes take off the ship. So in the Navy, our airplanes actually take off a moving ship in the ocean. So high heels don't necessarily work too well, but it's a very humbling place to be part of history.
There was a movie on Midway came out like last year, I think, wasn't there? That was a cool movie.
Yeah.
Give it a watch, anybody that hasn't.
Absolutely. Yeah. So those are just a few things, but I also would love to shout out to any pageant women who listen to this that are in Asia. I'll be based near Hiroshima, and I would love to connect with you. You have a place to stay. One reason I love pageantry is that no matter where you're in the world, you feel like you have a friend. And to me, especially in a time where we are all disconnected in some way and COVID's affected us, it's just always nice to know that you have a friend to rely on no matter where you are, so you're never alone.
I'm taking you up on that offer as well.
Please do. I want to hire her to help me go through my closet, because I'm going to tiny closets in Japan.
We can minimize it down.
Yeah.
Storage with certain folding. Well, Marie,
Sarah, what about yourself? What have you got coming up?
So I'm in the process of buying a house, which is kind of cool. I'm officially adulting after my life took a major spin like last year. So to be buying a house is pretty cool. Officially adulting hard, but stressful. And I recently got appointed as the chair of the Athletes Commission for the International Weightlifting Federation, which is pretty cool. So so I'm that's all kind of starting and making waves now, and hopefully will be a start of the change for the sport of weightlifting, because unfortunately it's pretty corrupt in places, a lot of anti-doping scandals and stuff. So the Athlete Commission will hopefully be a part of the process moving forwards to make sure we don't get kicked out of the Olympics as a sport, because that is a very real worry for the sport at the moment.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's kind of, we've got a new president now, or acting president, who is a lady from the US, Ursula. She's pretty badass. She's doing everything she can, but obviously it is a male-dominated sport, and she's female and Western in a very Eastern-dominated sport as well. So that woman is fighting her battles, but she's doing an awesome job. So I'm kind of her right-hand woman now on the athlete kind of perspective. So that's a kind of cool adventure and something else to add a string to my bow. And there's loads of support in the UK from UK Sport, which is cool about me being the chair, and like loads of education and stuff to go around it. So hopefully I'll get myself signed onto a few of those courses, which will be pretty fun.
That's amazing.
So,
that is incredible. Yeah. Way to be a pioneer and go into uncharted territory. I commend you. I really, truly commend.
It's going to be a challenge. It is definitely going to be a challenge.
You got this, though. You've got this. I am so proud of you. That is incredible.
Thank you.
I can't believe that weightlifting is actually in danger of falling out as an Olympic sport. I mean, I just think of cycling, and Lance Armstrong. And well, no joke. I mean, the level that he went to of doping, I mean, to keep it hidden, like there's a
For
whole...
so many years.
Yeah, it
Weightlifting,
was so professionally organized.
there's stuff that came out of the Chinese weightlifting, like they did a big investigation into it, and they were just using doppelgangers. So someone would get pulled for testing, and they'd just send somebody else with a fake passport. Yeah. Weightlifting's next level. You think cycling did a good job? Read into the weightlifting scandal.
Oh my
I want to
God.
make
Literally
I want to
sending
make a
another
joke.
person.
I want to make a joke about all Asians looking the same, because that's the joke they always make in movies. Doppelganger. Like
Yeah.
he looks like that guy. We'll test him. I mean, really?
Yep.
Doppelgangers.
Yep.
Wow.
And fake passports, because you have to prove your identity, so they're just giving them like fake
the fake
identity
passport, I can
documents.
understand. That's just a document, but the actual like fake person.
Yeah.
I feel like I've learned something today.
And for some reason, I
Alright.
still compete in this sport despite how corrupt and unfair it is and how biased it is. But here I am. So
Because you love it. Like we all
yeah.
know what that's like. I mean, especially coming from pageantry, sometimes not everything's
Yeah.
above board, and we stay in it because we
Yeah.
love it. I mean, if you look at it from any sort of probably sensible perspective, there are probably better ways you could spend your time, especially ways that could make you more money and not cost you so much money, but you don't do it
Yeah.
unless you love it. So
Yeah.
it's the same for yourself. So Daniel, obviously, good luck with your climb.
Thank
Please
you.
be safe.
Pray for me.
Yes, I
We
will. And for myself, just quickly coming up on the Pageant project, I've got a couple of interviews. One is with Corinne and Laura's Corinne and Sarah's director, Laura Clark. Now she's American, but she's not in America, is she, Corinne? Where?
No,
Yeah.
she's going to be in Switzerland, I believe, when you have the
That's what I
conversation.
thought.
And an amazing woman. I've known Laura for 10 years, and she epitomes, like she's doing what Sarah's doing in the pageant world, but what Sarah's doing with CrossFit just really is a very strong, ethical, sound-minded pageant woman who competed and then fell in love with directing. And I'm not just saying that as a director, but she crowned me Miss United States. I've known her before she took the venture. So I am so thrilled that you're going to have such a strong, iconic woman in pageantry, part of the pageant, part of the pageant project. So yeah, you're going to have a fantastic interview with her.
I'm sure I will, because I completely believe what Corinne is saying, because the number of people who shared that interview, I think it's up to 20 shares, and we haven't even gone live yet. So there's a lot of people obviously excited for that interview, and she's also director of Miss Earth USA. Those of you who are keen-eyed know that I've interviewed 2 people from that system already. So looking forward to that. And then I have an interview that's on Thursday my time, I believe. Yep, Thursday my time. And then on Sunday, I've got an interview with Maria Giolando, who is currently competing in Miss Earth Canada. So actually, by the time that we interview, we'll know whether she's actually Miss Earth Canada or not. They're doing a virtual pageant.
Wow,
It's so exciting.
So, yeah, this pageant land is not back to normal, but it's definitely like people have had enough of not doing it. So people are like, I don't care what we got to do, we're going to have something. So there's virtual pageants going on. I interviewed Savannah Miles just the other day, and her pageant, Teen Universe, is going ahead in person. So, you know, fingers crossed, if we all stay sensible, we can keep enjoying life and moving forwards. It's just every now and then if someone's selfish, you can set us all back. And we really don't want that. So that's what's coming up from all of us. Veronica here has said, hi, Corinne.
Hi, Veronica. She is someone who helps me a lot with some digital social media, and we are actually former pageant sisters as well. We did United America when she was a teenager, and I was not a teenager at the time. I was in residency.
Okay, we won't get everyone on stream to disclose their age, because I've already done that, and it's not polite to ask a woman how old she is. So we need to let Corinne go. So Corinne, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. It was it was an honor to be back on here, and I wish you guys the best.
Thank you. And Sarah, thank you for your time as well.
Thanks for having me.
And Danielle, thank you for your time as well.
Always a pleasure.
We've got the big butt club. Anyway, thank you to everyone for watching as well, whether it's live or on the replay. And we will see you same time next week. Hey guys, it's Adrian again. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and remember to head over to pageantlaunch.com and join the launch team for our pageant review site. All you need to do is put in your email address. Thanks, and speak to you next time.